Steve Bottari. We're going to continue on foreign policy.
Ms. Goodlander, as the war in Gaza continues after the October 7th terror attack, so do the calls by some in your party to end American support because of the tens of thousands of Palestinian civilians who have been killed. You have said, when it comes to questions about whether a nation state has committed a war crime, those judgments are made by prosecutors and by investigators, not by congressional candidates. But as someone who would vote on further aid to Israel, what is your assessment about Israel's actions in Gaza, and should Americans' aid continue no matter what?
Look, I believe that Israel has a right to defend itself. It has a right to exist, and we shouldn't have to say that. But, you know, October 7th was the deadliest attack on the Jewish people since the Holocaust. Israel has a right to defend itself, and in Congress, I will fight to make sure that Israel has the resources it needs to defend itself against its enemies, because I believe that Israel's enemies, Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, and Iranian-backed groups, are America's enemies. This is an investment in our own national security. But look, Israel is also a democracy that has a responsibility to protect the lives of innocent civilians. So as I've said, I believe deeply that the path forward here is, number one, to bring about the state that we had before October 7th, which was a ceasefire, a return of the hostages that have been kept in brutal captivity in Gaza for over a year now, and a surge in humanitarian assistance into Gaza, because no one should go without food or water or medical care. And this is a responsibility that the United States and Israel have to the people of Gaza.
Ms. Tong-Williams, you've expressed your strong support for Israel, but also say the U.S. needs to ask, like you've discussed in the previous question, how we're going to pay for that support. Do you want to stop sending military or financial aid to Israel? And if so, what would persuade you?
Morally, diplomatically, and as an ally, we support Israel. I do. And it's only democracy in the Middle East. And it's Americans' best interest and to keep Israel free and democratic. President Trump actually broke several peace deals in Middle East. He was nominated for actually Nobel Peace Prize. Of course, mainstream media will not report that. And right before, Saudi Arabia and Israel reached peace deals, and Hamas attacked Israel. Think about who is behind that attack. How did Hamas get all this money? Iran. And guess who gave billions of dollars to Iran, enabled them to buy hundreds of billions of dollars, actually sell hundreds of millions of dollars oil to China? Thanks to our national security advisor who runs our foreign policy. So we need to come up. We support Israel, but when it comes to money-wise, and we need to have smarter, effective foreign policies.